Hi and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to create a real estate inventory in Notion. Keeping track of all of the items that you have in your properties is really important. Perhaps you've got items that you may want to buy again in the future and you just need to record where you purchased them from. You may need to keep key information for compliance purposes, or maybe you need a reminder on a regular basis to get certain items tested, perhaps electrical items. Using Notion makes this really easy. So today I'm going to break this video down into three parts. Firstly, how to create an inventory database in Notion. Secondly, how to add important information to that database. And lastly, how to use views, including how to add a new item, how to go and check your upcoming reminders, and lastly, how to use filters. I'll add timestamps down into the description so that you can hop about. And let me know in the comments, do you currently use a real estate inventory? I'd love to know. Plus, if you keep on watching, during the video, I'm also going to share how you can grab free real estate Notion templates. So do keep on watching. But other than that, let's get going. So I'm currently here in my Notion account, and the first thing that we need to do is to create the database. So this is very easy. So if we just go and press / and then type inline, we can then create an inline database. So I'm just going to press return. And you can see that it's now created this blank database. So the first thing, let's just give our database a title. So let's just call this inventory. And then we want to go and add all of the fields that are relevant for our inventory database. So it already creates a couple for us. So the first one is name, but let's just go and tweak that because it's not very relevant. So let's change that to item name. Great, and that can say, so that's just going to be a text box. Then we've got this one that's labeled tags. So let me just go and edit this property, and I like having a status status label in a lot of my databases. So it's not a status field. So in here it's actually a select field, but I call it status, and that's because quite often a lot of things can be filtered by this status field. So if they're archived or no longer relevant, so we've got our status. Then I'm going to just click this plus arrow here, and let's go and create a unique, and I want this to be a unique field. So if I just scroll down, and then we've got here the ID, and we're going to label every item, we're going to give it a unique ID. So in terms of prefix, let's just put at the start INV for inventory, and then it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And then click add ID prefix, and you can see they're all listed here. And I'm going to drag that to the start because that will be our sort of initial label. Cool, so we've got our item name, status, then we're going to put in the property address, and this is going to be a text box. So this could be a relation, that's a little bit more complicated, but just for this example, let's just call it a text box, so property address. Then we'll go and add in the price, so how much did we actually pay for the item. So this is going to be a number field, and then I'm going to change the format to pounds, and this is going to be the, let's just call this cost. So how much did we pay for it? Great. Then the next item is going to be the purchase date. So this will be a date field, and this will be the purchase date. Then the next one, let's just go and put in the location. So if we just put a text box here, so this could be a select if you go to a certain number of shops, but I'm going to keep it simple. So this is going to be the purchase location. The next one is, let's go and put in a text field again. This one will be a serial number. So this may not be relevant for every item, but it could be useful for electrical goods, for example. Then we want to have a date field, and this is going to be an important date. So this may be when something expires or when something needs to be tested. So let's just put important date. And then the last one here at the very end is, I think it's always nice just on a table view like this, just to go and perhaps see a couple of comments around it. So I like to put in here a text field, and I just call it notes. And that can be just specific information that we want to see in the table view rather than having to click into each record. So we've now got notes. Great, so let's go and add a couple of items. So let's just put here as an example. So this could be a double bed. And then this, the status, let's go and put a few statuses. So this could be current, so an item that's already in. This could be to purchase, so it could be like a to do. It could be an item that is faulty, so we could say that it no longer works. We could also put in here perhaps removed if we've taken it out of the house to get rid of it. So let's just put the double bed is current. Let's say this is 321 Church Road, and this is AB123CD. Let's say we spent £150 We purchased it a couple of weeks ago. We could say that this is from IKEA. There's no serial number for a bed. There's no important dates, and we could say in here, let's just say the double bed. Let's just say it's a certain, let's say it's Malm, for example. So Malm in white. So that's an example of a double bed. We could put an electrical good. So let's just say that here we've got a vacuum cleaner. This could be to purchase. Let's say that it's the same address, so I can just copy and paste. The price, let's just say we think it's going to be about £80. We're going to purchase it next week. So let's say we're going to buy that on the 27th. This could be from Argos in the UK. We don't know the serial number yet. The important date, maybe it's going to be a year's time. So if we purchase it on the 27th, we could put in here the 27th of the 7th, 24. Just as a little reminder. And then let's say this is going to be a Henry Hoover. Great. And then let's, for one more example, let's just say that this item no longer works. So maybe this is the old vacuum cleaner. So this could be the same house. Let's say we spent a couple of years ago £50 on it. We purchased it, let's just say, I don't know, 2021, and it's already broken. That could have been from another shop. So let's just say that that came from Amazon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as the serial number. An important date, it's, let's say that 23rd of July, so let's just say that's today, and that's now expired, and that's when we realized it failed its test. And again, this could be a Henry. So those are some examples how you can go and quickly go and put in each of the titles for your table, different statuses which we could then filter on. Which house do they live in? How much did we pay? So it's all stored in a nice database. So secondly, we may want to add some important information. So let's say, for example, that we go and purchase this vacuum cleaner. So we could change that to now current. And we could go and put in the serial number, so maybe 9876543. But perhaps we've got the receipt and we want to just keep the receipt in one place. So how you could do this is if we just go and click open, and there are a couple of ways. We could just press / and image, and then if you've maybe got a screenshot of maybe an email receipt, or perhaps you've got a photograph of the actual physical receipt, you could add that as an image. Or the other thing that we could do is actually add a file, so / and then you could go and just choose the file from wherever, and then go and add that to this record. So it'd be really easy if you needed to refer back to the serial number. Maybe there's warranty information, or maybe there's a phone number of the warranty company. You could store it all in here. It's all in one place. And then it's really, really quick to go and refer back to it if you need to do something with that information. So that's how you can really quickly just add bits into the notes, into the body of a record, and then refer back to it later. I really hope you're enjoying this video. If you are, please do give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks. So lastly, I just wanted to show you how to add a couple of different views. So if we've got items that are removed, we don't want to really view those normally. So I always create as a first view. If I just rename this one by right clicking, and I call this one all, so at least we can quickly get back to everything that we had listed. But that doesn't really want to be our default view. We may want one where we just see current items, for example. So there's a couple of ways. You could start from scratch just by pressing the plus, or you could duplicate this view, and then let's just go and add a filter. So if I just go and right click, and let's go duplicate. And then it calls it the same name. So let's say this is current rather than all. It's very similar, but we would just want to click on filter, and then let's just set the status is not faulty or removed. So that will remove them. So that's one way to do it. Or we could go is, and then we could just select we want only current items. So it's whether it's a negative or a positive filter. So let's just say the status is current, and you can see that it's now just listed those two current items. And then click off, and you can see we've now got the all view, which includes the removed vacuum cleaner or the current. And if you want this one to be first, just click and drag to the left, and it will swap around these two different tabs. So we've got current is the first view. Let's say that also we wanted to go and create a new view where we just add new items. So to do that, there's a couple of different ways. We want to reference this database, but perhaps we wanted to put it somewhere else within our Notion workspace. So if you press / and then link, or linked, you can then go linked view of a database. So if I click that one, we can then select which database it is. So it's the inventory database. And here you can see we've got the arrow up here. So that shows that it's a reference to this database. That's not the original one. So let's go and hide this title. And now we want to go and add new items. So if it's a new item, it won't have an ID, it won't have a name, so we can filter like that. So if I go here to, let's create a new view again, and let's say this is going to be the inventory database, and we're going to call this, and we're going to right click, rename this, and this is going to be add new item. We'll call that, that's our view name. Again, let's keep it as a table. And then in terms of filtering, we basically want to get rid of the current filter, so delete filter. So we now need to add a filter, and this needs to be an advanced filter. So if you go here on the right hand side, filter, and then let's go down to the bottom and go add advanced filter. We either want the title to be blank or we want the status to be blank. So if I just go into here and click the title, so item name, and that needs to be is empty, and you can see everything's disappeared. Then I want to add a filter rule, and I want to put it into a group, and then select this as OR. So if either of these are blank, it will still show us. So if I go here, status is empty as well. Even if we add something into the item name, until we put a status in, it will still show. So let me show you how this works. So let's just click new, and let's just say that we're going to put kettle. All right, and it's still there because status is still blank. So we could put in the other information, so maybe 123 road. Let's say we spent 20 quid on the kettle. That was purchased a couple of days ago. Let's say again that's from Argos. No important dates, and this could be a Breville, for example. So that's still stayed there for this new item, and that's telling us that something is missing. So if I now go into here and I give it a status that is now current, it disappears, because both the item name and the status were inputted. So that's how you can create an add new item place. We can get rid actually of the all. So let's just delete that view. And then this add new item could be placed somewhere else within your workspace. If you want to actually ignore some of these fields, so if I just go here to the three dots and properties, we may say that the important date, could we just click on the I to remove it, or perhaps the actual purchase date. Maybe we don't know that yet because it's a new item. So you can just add or remove these fields as you want, and you can also drag them around. So if the order doesn't make sense, so for example, let's put the purchase date near to the purchase location, you can just drag the 6 dots around to reorder them to make it make more sense. Also, if you go into a card, so if we just open this item here, you can see the various fields, and again we can go and reorder these. So maybe we want to put notes down the bottom, perhaps we put the important date further down, the serial number could be right at the top, etc. So however you want to rearrange it, just go and drag them, and then also you can hide things. So we may not really care about the serial number that often, so if you click on the 6 dots, you can actually go hide property, always hide. We could also do that, for example, with the notes. So I just click here, hide property, always hide, and then they're hidden until you reveal them, just to keep things a little bit more tidy and organized. So we've seen how to add filters and also how to create new views. The last thing is how to set reminders. So let's again go and add a new item. So let's say that we're going to add in here a toaster. Very quickly, let's just say that this is current. So we've purchased it, and you can see it appear here at the top. Let's go and just quickly add the copy this house. So copy and paste. Let's say that we spent 20 quid on the toaster, and again that was purchased a couple of days ago. Let's again put Argos 1 2 3 4 5 6 as the serial number. Great. So if we purchased it on the 21st of July, so we then need to have it tested once a year. So let's say it needs to be tested by the 20th of July next year. So if I quickly put that date in, so the 20th of July 24, there we go, and we can see that that's dates in there. However, we need to keep track of these dates. So two things we could do. Firstly is we can put a reminder in. So if I click on this date, we can then get remind, and I can go and add something in. So let's say a week beforehand, let me just go and click this. put a little reminder in, and you can see that we've now got the clock that's appeared beside it. So that will then produce a notification to say a week beforehand this date's coming up. And if you want to know more about reminders, then do check out my video, link above here, where you can see more about how to add reminders both into a database, but also into your Notion workspace. So that's the first thing that we could do. We could also go and create a new view. So if I just go and duplicate this one, great, and let's just call this reminders. So let's go and call this reminders. And the way that we want to filter this is we want things to be current, but also in the important date, it needs to have something in it. So not empty. So we've just picked out the 2 electrical items that have got dates coming up. So we can filter just where there is an important date in this column, but clearly if we've got a lot of items, these dates are a long time in advance. So let's make it a bit more advanced. So in important date, let me tweak this, and rather than is not empty, let's say that it needs to be on or before, so a date in the future, either in the future or beforehand. And then let's, instead of putting an actual date, we'll put 1 month from now. So it's basically saying between now and a month's time. So if it's from a month or beforehand, we want to be notified about it. So if I just click that one, so you can see here that we've got the 11th of August 2023. So the current date today is the 23rd. So that date, the 11th of August, is on or before 1 month from now. So that then gives us a month to go and arrange getting it tested and all sorted out before we get to that deadline date. So that's how you can put a more advanced filter in. And then we've got our reminders here, so we can see all of our items, which ones are current, and then which ones have we got a reminder about as well. I hope you found this video useful. To go and grab loads of free Notion templates, just head to this link here, and I'll also go and drop it into the description so that you can add these templates to your real estate Notion workspace. For more Notion real estate tutorials, head to these videos here, and if you want to subscribe, please just click the link in the middle. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. See ya.